we need to continue to try to make the symphony accessible to more and more people. I remember a conductor saying that when you go to a football game, you know where the 50-yard line is. When you go to the symphony orchestra, maybe you're not sure where to sit or what's the appropriate thing to wear. When do you clap? Of course, we love when anybody claps anytime. That's great. They don't have to be timid about that. Hello, everyone. I'm Margaret Hoeppner. I'm one of the cellists in the Colorado Symphony, and I joined the orchestra in 1961. I attended the Curtis Institute of Music, and after leaving there, I came to Denver, and I auditioned for a position in the orchestra, and fortunately, I got that, and I have been playing now this is my 58th season. How I chose the cello is kind of fun because we lived in Bozeman, Montana, which at that time was a pretty small town. My mother played piano and taught piano, and I have an older sister who played the violin. So I started out on the piano when I was 5, and then when I turned 10, my mother said, I think you should play the cello because we need a cello for a trio. And luckily, there was a wonderful cellist in town in Bozeman who had studied with Felix Solomon, who was a very famous cello teacher at that time, and I think was teaching in Chicago, is where she had studied with him. So it was sort of a natural thing to start that instrument. And once I started the cello, I am afraid I sort of lost interest in the piano. I have several cellos. This one is a kind of a workhorse. I play this at Symphony a lot. It was made in the early 90s by a man named Jeff Robinson, who at that time lived in Boulder, and he made the cello in Boulder. My husband had commissioned it for me. It's a wonderful cello because it doesn't get affected by the weather or by the humidity or anything. It just stays completely the same. And I think that's a tremendously great thing because so many instruments are really affected by the weather and by all the different conditions that happen. It is extremely versatile, has a big place in the orchestra, but also is a wonderful chamber music instrument, also a wonderful solo instrument. It's also a great jazz instrument, and more and more people are branching out and doing kind of rock stuff and jazz stuff with cello. It's just a fun instrument, and when I tell someone I play the cello, almost the universal response is, oh, I love the cello so much. Oh, I think it's a beautiful instrument. Cello is great. So I don't think I'm alone in feeling that way. Since I had joined the orchestra when I was relatively young, I had never really finished college. So I decided to go back and get a degree, and then I decided to go ahead and get a master's in social work because I thought it would be something that I could give back a little bit. When my husband and I got married, we each had 3 children, and then we had 2 children together, and I currently have 9 grandchildren. It's funny because I think the gene kind of morphed into the acting thing. Several of them are actors. They all had piano lessons and did a little bit with instruments, but nobody has become a serious instrumentalist. My daughter-in-law, however, Hillary Cole, is a jazz singer, and she has performed with the orchestra here, and she was classically trained, but just went off into the jazz field. Fred came here in 1950 as principal cellist. He was hired by Saul Kasten, and he played principal cello for close to 20 years. At the time that he became assistant conductor, he moved over to assistant principal cello, and he retired from the orchestra in 2003 after having played consecutively for 53 years. I'm really bad at math. I think let's just say it's well over 100 years if you add our two careers together. The Colorado Symphony has really been a gift to me. It encompassed my entire adult life. And I feel so lucky to be able to every day come to work and hear something beautiful and participate in something that's truly beautiful. And I think in this era where we are so dependent on a lot of technology, there's something really moving and unique about being able to create something by ourselves. The orchestra has been evolving for many years, and I think right now it is the best it has ever been. We play such a gamut of music. We play everything from rock to pop to country to classical, which is what we're particularly known for, but we play all kinds of things. Plus we have a fantastic educational outreach program, so we are able to be involved with kids throughout the community. We've had an exchange program with the country of Haiti, where some of the students have come to us here and have participated in lessons and master classes and going to the concerts. And we have had our musicians go to Haiti and coach the kids there and work with them. In terms of my favorite pieces, I guess probably I'd have to say pretty much whatever's on the stand at the time, because being involved in everything is wonderful. This connection between what people perceive as really classical and contemporary there's a very symbiotic relationship. Every piece that we play was contemporary once, because we live with many classical themes without even thinking about it every day in our daily life. I think the fact that we are incorporating a lot of local artists and contemporary music in general is one of our strengths. And I think it speaks to our willingness and desire to be very current and to be very meaningful in today's world as it is now, and making those connections between our orchestra and the larger world. I've also served on different committees over the years, and I feel like the fact that musicians are so involved and it's such a collaboration is the reason that orchestra is so strong, because we are all on the same page. We all work together, we all face challenges together, and we all celebrate together. The occasions that I've been so lucky to play with Yo-Yo Ma are just unbelievably thrilling, because you feel like you're in the presence of someone who's not only tremendously gifted, but is really kind of magical. It lifts the orchestra up when he's on stage. Everyone feels this aura of love and devotion to music that he exudes. He's an amazing talent, but he's also an amazing human. I sort of thought maybe he should run for president. I think the endowed chair speaks to the legacy for both myself and my husband. Another legacy for both of us, and particularly for Fred, I think, is the students that we have taught over the years. That was Fred's passion. He adored teaching. The title of the chair is the Fred and Margaret Hoeppner Principal Cello Chair. Various people will move in and out of that chair in the future. That's just the way it is in symphony orchestras. We all have times that we're here and then we move on. I think that endowing a chair is a statement of hope and a statement of courage and a statement of strength for the future. So I think any time that someone endows a chair, it's just a statement of their hope and belief in the artistic fabric of our community. I was just so amazed and thrilled, and I also realized just how totally honored Fred would have felt if he had known about this, and maybe he does. It was an amazing honor, and it's not only a wonderful tribute and personal tribute, which I'm very humbled by, but it also speaks to the value of our orchestra in our community, that people are able to give this kind of amazing gift and help the orchestra survive and thrive. I think symphonic music tells a tale. It speaks to human experience. When you listen to a great classical piece, you are all of a sudden very aware that you're experiencing something that is timeless and that is not bound by an iPad or a tweet. You're dealing with something that has permanence beyond what we can even really imagine. I think people should come because it's fun. It's great. It's wonderful. People come to the orchestra. You get to see something, like they say, up close and personal, something that's happening right now. And it's just a great time. You can take a glass of wine into your seat and just enjoy. And if you love it, you can clap. And if you don't like it so much, you can not clap. But just wait till the next piece and you probably will love it. In my spare time, I always turn on jazz. If I listen to symphony music, I seem to be too involved trying to remember what bowing I was using or what fingering was happening then or who was conducting. But when I put on jazz, and there's a lot of connection between jazz and classical music too. But that's kind of comfort food for me. But there's also time when if I could put on the Elgar Enigma variations, I'm in heaven. Well, Denver is growing at a crazy rate, as everyone knows. I think everyone loves Colorado. They love the mountains. They love the climate. And more they love the arts that we have in Denver. It's a funny thing. You probably don't think about it necessarily, but it's a big financial bonus for the city to have a symphony orchestra. We all know it's a great ski place. We all know it's a great sporting town. But we sometimes forget that the symphony also provides all kinds of encouragement for restaurants and other venues here in town. And so it's really integral to the backbone of our city. If anybody wants to play an instrument, I think they should go for it. I don't care if they're 8 or 80. I think they should definitely do it because it's fun. And something you can do all by yourself and create something beautiful. And it's kind of like, in a way, like painting. You have have access to different colors and different themes and different ways of connecting, which is what I guess we all hope to do.